Well, let's talk about the main characters of this. So we have Luca and Alberto and Giulia, and then Giulia's father, Massimo. I loved his character.
I really liked his character as well. I
really
didn't
well.
notice he was missing an arm until
Oh yeah.
they pointed it out, and I was like, wait, like what? Like I don't even remember what. Like it was at least like halfway through the movie, and I was like, oh, this dude's got one arm.
Yeah, I was watching with my friends, and they're like, didn't he have an arm before?
Exactly. I thought he had 2 arms, but no, it was just.
And it was interesting how at first he's like, yeah, I got bit by a sea monster, but then he's like, I was actually just born this way. It's interesting because a lot of times you can't control things. There's things that happen in your life, and you have to adapt, and he shows that really well. He's like best dad.
Yeah, he's really cool.
But some of the guys that gave these voices was Jacob Tremblay. He did the voice of Luca, and another emotional, misunderstood character that he did the boy in Wonder. If you've seen that movie, the kid that has the face disfiguration and he wears like the helmet.
Right, you told me about that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's a really good movie, and I think Jacob's really good at capturing these emotionally deep characters. Even though he's just a child actor, he's super good.
How old is he?
Less than 20. I know that.
Okay.
He's probably like 14 or 15 now.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's Alberto, Jack Dylan Grazer. And I was listening to this guy talk, and I was like, why does his voice sound so familiar? And I'm like, oh yeah, he must be this guy.
His name sounds familiar.
So we look it up, and it's not that guy. And I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? But I did realize his voice does kind of sound like Sokka's voice from Avatar: The Last Airbender. They're both named Jack.
Does he voice act any like significant character?
Not really. Not that like when
that
I was
like
looking
his
at
first,
that
big
he
role.
was like this new actor, and he's been in some like live action movies, I think, but he hasn't had super crazy roles in anything.
So who knows? Maybe this will like set off his career or something.
Yeah. I was like, dang, he could voice Sokka if need be. But I really love this idea of Alberto and his father, and kind of throughout the story, you learn more about that his father left him, and he's left to pick up the pieces and to figure this out.
Do you think his dad died or just left?
It seemed to me that his dad left him. He might have died later, but I think he
just like abandoned him.
Yeah, I think he abandoned him because he was kind of marking down on the wall where and how long it's been since he last saw his father.
Yeah, so it was like he still had hope that his dad would come back.
Yeah. But I think it's really cool seeing the father-son bond that develops between him and Massimo, and how it's also this super emotional thing because you're like, Massimo's like hunting.
He's hunting the sea monsters, and then he ends up treating them like his sons.
Yeah, and it's very deep. It's a really cool story. Kind of moving on.
Character development.
Yes, character development is so good. Luca is based off of Enrico's childhood. Luca's friendship with Alberto was actually based on Enrico's friendship with his friend Alberto. He didn't even change his name.
Oh, nice.
Kept it the same, yeah.
Dude, that would feel good to be like his friend. Be like,
yeah.
heck yeah, that character's based off of me.
You're like, yeah, I'm in that animated movie.
That's me right there.
It's really cool. And his friend really helped him to grow and helped him to kind of step out of his comfort zone and to just kind of become a man, I guess. I really love these stories of like coming of age stories because they're always done so emotionally deep. I'm going to keep saying that because it is. It's like there's all this stuff working into the story of each of these characters. Even just how they're animated and how they emote, like how they smile. You can see the kind of person and character that they are. So it's really cool. But kind of going into this story, Enrico spent his summers in the town of Genoa, Italy, on the coast, the seaside, and that's kind of what he based this story off of.
I've always wanted to live in like a seaside town.
I know, I see them like, and I'm
like in movies and like pictures. I'm like, dude, that's so cool.
It's so beautiful, especially how they layer the different houses.
Yeah, like when it's
top
like
of
layered like on a hill or something.
Yeah, and then you just have like the cobblestone going up through the town.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that looks so cool. And then like I think about it, and I'm like, maybe that's not actually like the best lifestyle.
Yeah, because like
I like my cozy suburb lifestyle. It's kind
could have like smelly fish, and there's a lot of stuff that you don't see or smell.
Those kinds of things are often romanticized in like media, but it's still cool. Like they do a good job, and it makes you want to live there. So
no, that's for sure. So the other person I kind of want to talk about was Uncle Hugo. So what did you think about this character? Was that translucent guy and his like heart stops?
Oh yeah,
and he's like, gotta punch his heart, gotta punch my heart.
He's like the like a deep sea monster.
Yeah.
He's creepy, but he was a pretty small character.
Yeah,
like,
he was a pretty small character.
I don't know. I mean, I thought he was cool. I thought his character design was cool.
Yeah,
it was like oh, like obviously he's in the deep because he's like translucent and stuff.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he's been there for so long that's had an effect on him. It's like you can see it in him.
Yeah,
and they talked about how the whole punching the heart thing was kind of like when your uncle or someone's like, hey, pull my finger. It's kind of like that type of thing, where it's just like this like joke thing that they wanted to work into it. But he's translucent, and people when they were working on this, they wanted him to kind kind of be the antithesis of Luca's desires. Because Luca, he wants to go onto the land. He wants to experience
be free.
All these things, and his uncle's just down in the deep, deep, deep darkness that he's never been to. And they kind of want it to be kind of like this almost type of boarding school thing. Like, it's like, oh no, it's time to send you to Uncle Hugo. And I think one thing it serves as is it serves as an opposition that he's like, okay, I gotta get out of here. I gotta do something different now.
Doesn't he run away after that?
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Massimo, then Giulia, and then we'll be talking about the rest of the stuff in a later episode. But Giulia, I thought it was a really cool character. She was outgoing. She loves to learn. But she doesn't, I didn't realize this, but in reading about it, she doesn't really believe in sea monsters. And,
really?
Yeah. And kind of like spoiler alert, but there's this moment in the movie where Alberto shows that he's a sea monster. And he does it in a very scary way. And she is truly like scared by that because her whole life she's been kind of this intellect of, no, sea monsters can't exist. They don't exist. And then her best friend.
And like the whole like town is like sea monsters are evil, kill all sea monsters.
Yeah.
So it's like she's got predetermined prejudice.
Oh yeah.
Against sea monsters already. So
yeah, it's really interesting. You have her, this little girl. She's like pretty fend for herself, and then you have her father. He's this big, gentle giant character, very kind-hearted, and he also becomes a father figure for Alberto. And I just found that really cool. This whole story that's developed throughout. I love these stories of kind of like these found families, where there are these people that are going through these tough things, and you don't think that they're going to end up being able to support and understand each other, but then it works out in the end. It reminds me a little bit of Howl's Moving Castle. I love the found family aspect of that. How you have like this wizard, he's done these things that he kind of regrets, and he's losing his humanity. You have this girl who's trying to show him that he's still human. He still has something to live for. And then you have like Turnip Head, and you have Calcifer, and you have the little dog, and you have shriveled up grandma lady.
And the kid, what was the kid's name?
His name's like it's not a very common name.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
And they don't use it much.
No, they don't use it much.
He's actually not shown very much.
No. But one of my favorite parts in that is when he like pulls the hood down.
Yeah, and turns into like Bearded Dwarf Man.
Bearded Dwarf Man.
Yeah.
It's so good. But yeah, we hope that you guys enjoyed this first part of the episode. We're going to be going in the next episode talking about the world building, music and sound design. That episode will be a little bit shorter, but it will be just as good. It'll be really awesome. And Nolan will be here for that one too.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're excited to see you guys then, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.